Welcome back to Dinar Community Channel. The financial world was jolted overnight when an image, allegedly showing internal bank screens displaying a dramatically higher Iraqi dinar rate, began circulating through private investor channels. This screenshot, claimed to be from a secure terminal within a major U.S. financial institution, has sent shockwaves across the global currency speculation community. For years, the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar has been the subject of heated debate, hopeful anticipation, and countless rumors. Yet this latest leak carries a weight that few previous claims have matched, largely because of the apparent authenticity of the banking interface shown and the corroborating whispers from multiple banking employees who insist the display is genuine. The image in question, according to those who have examined it closely, depicts the IQD rate against the US dollar at levels that would fundamentally alter the economic standing of Iraq and drastically shift the fortunes of those holding the currency. What makes this development even more compelling is the source of the leak, reportedly an employee within the currency exchange division who, according to insiders, captured the screenshot during a brief window when updated foreign exchange rates were uploaded to internal systems but before they were locked down from public access. Observers are quick to point out that bank screens of this kind are typically accessible only to authorized personnel and are tied directly to the core trading systems used to execute foreign exchange transactions for clients. These screens are not the flashy retail rate boards seen in branch lobbies. They are back-end platforms linked to interbank networks, carrying live and pending rate updates from the central bank and major currency settlement systems. The fact that the screenshot shows the IQD with a rate far above its long-standing market value suggests either a massive system error, an intentional test run of a new rate, or the early stages of a long-awaited revaluation rollout. For years, discussions about the IQD's potential have been relegated to the fringes of mainstream finance, with proponents citing Iraq's oil reserves, reconstruction efforts, and political stabilization as reasons the currency could eventually be restored to pre-war values. Skeptics, on the other hand, have dismissed such claims as unrealistic, pointing to the country's political volatility, corruption, and dependence on oil revenue. This leak, if genuine, could silence many critics overnight. One of the more intriguing aspects of this situation is the timing. Multiple sources within the global banking network have reported unusual system maintenance activity over the past week. These updates, according to internal memos, were necessary to integrate new structured rates into cross-border payment and settlement platforms. While such technical changes are not unheard of, the phrasing used in these communications, combined with the sudden appearance of an unprecedented IQD rate, is enough to raise serious questions. Some private currency groups have been buzzing with claims that this leak aligns perfectly with earlier intel pointing to a midweek rate release, possibly to minimize market disruption and allow a controlled rollout before wider public trading. The actual numbers shown in the screenshot, though blurred in some shared versions to protect the leaker's identity, are described by those who view the original as shockingly high, surpassing even the most optimistic projections from the dinar community. We are talking about levels that, if made official, would instantly turn modest holders into millionaires and place Iraq's currency value on par with, or even higher than, some of the strongest currencies in the world. This has triggered a wave of speculation about whether the revaluation is part of a broader global currency realignment, something that certain financial insiders have hinted at for years. Bank employees contacted off the record are treading carefully, aware that discussing internal rate screens is a serious breach of protocol. Yet a few have suggested that the image matches the interface of specific Tier 1 bank platforms used for foreign currency settlement, lending further credibility to the leak. One banking source claimed that similar test rates were visible for only a few minutes before being replaced by the current live market rate, suggesting that this was either a premature display or a deliberate flash to test system readiness. Historically, rate changes of this magnitude are tested multiple times in isolated environments before they are applied to live systems, but occasionally, due to timing or synchronization errors, new figures appear in production systems earlier than intended. The investor community's reaction has been immediate and intense. Social media groups dedicated to the IQD are flooded with debates, screenshot analyses, and side-by-side comparisons of legitimate bank interfaces. Some argue that the font, layout, and coding strings visible in the leaked image are consistent with actual bank software, while others suspect it could be a sophisticated fabrication. Yet the mounting reports from different geographic regions, including North America, Europe, and the Middle East, claiming to have witnessed similar temporary rate changes in the past 48 hours are giving the story an undeniable momentum. What makes this leak especially disruptive is its potential to trigger a rush of preemptive moves by dinar holders. If the rate truly is about to be made public, the demand for appointments at exchange centers could skyrocket overnight, overwhelming the system before official procedures are in place. Several banks have reportedly been preparing for such a scenario by setting up separate, secure exchange areas, sometimes referred to as VIP rooms, specifically for handling high-value currency redemptions. The leaked screenshot has now pushed this preparation into overdrive, with staff quietly being briefed on confidentiality protocols and rapid client processing procedures. At the geopolitical level, a sudden IQD revaluation could have ripple effects far beyond Iraq's borders. Oil contracts, foreign aid agreements, and international debt settlements could all be recalculated overnight, potentially reshaping economic alliances. Countries that have been quietly accumulating IQD reserves over the years, possibly as part of strategic hedging, would find themselves holding an enormously more valuable asset. In the Gulf region, where economic competition remains fierce, such a move could shift the balance of influence and spark new trade agreements. The IMF and World Bank, often viewed as gatekeepers in such matters, have so far made no public comment on the alleged leak, but market watchers are keenly awaiting any official statement. Behind the scenes, some analysts believe the revaluation may be tied to Iraq's efforts to move away from a US dollar-dominated oil trade. Recent government statements have hinted at pursuing more direct currency exchange agreements with key partners, reducing dependency on intermediary currencies. If Iraq has indeed secured enough international backing to support a stronger dinar, the leaked bank rate could be an early signal that the switch is already in motion. The secrecy surrounding this leak is both understandable and telling. Banks operate under strict compliance rules, and revealing unreleased currency rates is a serious violation. Yet, history shows that major rate adjustments have often been preceded by similar, accidental, glimpses into bank systems, whether through a rogue employee, a technical glitch, or a deliberate strategic leak intended to prepare certain market players. The current situation has all the hallmarks of a planned but tightly controlled information release, just enough to spark anticipation, but not enough to confirm the details officially. Financial historians note that this is not the first time Iraq's currency has been subject to dramatic adjustments. Prior to the Gulf War, the dinar held a strong international value, but decades of sanctions, conflict, and economic isolation devastated its standing. The country's ongoing reconstruction, coupled with substantial oil reserves, has fueled speculation about a return to those higher values. A sudden leap to the figures allegedly shown in the leaked screenshot would not just be a restoration, it would be a statement of Iraq's new position in the global economy. Adding to the intrigue is the behavior of certain large institutions over the past week. Some major currency dealers have reported temporary, out-of-stock, notices for IQD orders, citing supply chain issues. Others have quietly raised their retail sell prices for dinar, despite no official rate change, possibly anticipating a surge in demand if the leaked figures prove real. Meanwhile, in Iraq itself, there have been reports of increased security around the central bank and heightened scrutiny of large currency movements, suggesting preparations for something significant. The question now is how soon, if at all, this leaked rate will be reflected in public markets. Historically, banks and central banks prefer to roll out major rate changes during low-volume trading periods, often over weekends or late at night in specific time zones, to minimize volatility. If the leak is indeed accurate, the timing could be within days, perhaps even hours, of the image first surfacing. Alternatively, it could be a test rate that won't be activated for weeks, used internally to ensure systems can handle the new figures without error. Investors who have followed the IQD story for years are finding themselves in a rare state of both excitement and caution. The potential rewards are enormous, but so too are the risks of acting prematurely. Scammers are already seizing on the buzz, offering fake exchange services or demanding upfront fees for priority appointments, a reminder that in times of heightened anticipation, vigilance is paramount. Reputable advisors are urging holders to wait for official bank communications and to use only verified exchange locations once the rate goes public. For now, the leaked bank screen remains a tantalizing piece of evidence in a puzzle that could be on the verge of completion. Whether it is a genuine preview of the new reality for the Iraqi dinar or merely another in a long line of false alarms will be known soon enough. But even if it turns out to be a temporary test or a strategic misdirection, it has reignited the global conversation about the IQD's potential, and the sheer volume of attention it has attracted may be enough to accelerate whatever changes are truly in motion. In the halls of banking institutions, behind locked doors and security badges, decisions are being made that could reshape personal fortunes and national economies alike. The screenshot, once a fleeting image on a secure monitor, is now a symbol of hope for some, of skepticism for others, and of the enduring power of information in the age of instant communication. Whether the truth comes in hours, days, or weeks, the world is watching, and for Iraqi Dinar holders, the stakes have never been higher. Like and subscribe for more videos.